How's it going, everyone? It's Artifact, and today we're going to make a Chub Wub bass in Vital, which sounds like this. Now I was thinking, how can I make this tutorial a little bit different today? And I thought, I'm going to do what I'd normally do, but I'm going to wear a different cap. Buy my cap. Let's get straight into the Vital patch today. All we've got on the post-processing is some free plugins, which I love to use, the Wave Shaper for saturation from Melda Production, and a little bit of convolution reverb from Melda Production. And if we go into our wavetable now, Vital even, turn off the unwelcome dinner guests. There's quite a lot of them here. Square wave today. Ooh, listen to that. So we've got one LFO here. This is doing the whole movement for everything, and we're tracking it to the level of the square wave. This is the main sound, and it's on mono mode. And then we're going to frequency modulate something into this square wave. That something is going to be another square wave, pitched up at 1 octave. And we're taking the level down of this one. And then to make things super interesting, we're putting on this high pass mode. So it's really just sort of modulating in a very high frequency layer. There's not much low end being modulated in via this frequency modulation from oscillator 2 here. And the level is down on this, of course. It's just acting as a carrier, because even though it's been vaccinated, it's still carrying the all right. The third thing here, we've got a sine wave, which is pitched down 2 octaves. And this has got the level turned up, but there's just a little bit of modulation on the level going the opposite direction. So there's this kind of always sub in the background part to the sound. It's going to make more sense once we distort everything together. We're going to have like these kind of loose low end parts in the whole sound, which is going to make it a bit more lively. One more thing to note with oscillator 2 is I have ring modulated in a little bit of white noise, and let's hear what happens. Not much, but if I turn it up a little bit, we just add a little bit of extra variation into the high end of the sound, which is in turn going to provide a little bit more complexity when we're modulating into oscillator 1 here. If I just pop over to the advanced tab, just for a quick coffee, we can see here I've just tweaked these little settings again a little bit. So anything on unison mode, as this this carrier oscillator is here, this wide carrier. Anything on unison mode, it's worth just tweaking some of these settings here to get the exact kind of result that you want from the sound. So these little differences just to tweak the sound, and then let's finally move over to our effects. We have this filter here, which does a lot, doesn't it? The phaser positive, I really like this one. And again, we're just tracking everything onto this LFO. We can change the speed if you like, just so we can see what's happening. I'll often work at 1 speed while I'm creating the patch, and then change the speed later just to see, how it starts to sound at a different timing. And sometimes it can sound a lot different and a lot better at a different time frequency here. So, bit of compression. And I'm just sort of tracking these individual parameters to the LFO as well here, just to taste. Let's have a bit of chorus. Just tracking it on the mix a little bit, so we're not using so much of the chorus in total. And the EQ, we do quite a lot with the EQ here. So in this low mode here, I've taken down the gain, as you can see here, on the LFO. So the level in the sub, because I had this sub oscillator here, I wanted to sort of control that. So that's being controlled by this EQ gain here, which is going down. every time this goes up, the sub goes down a bit, just to kind of balance the sound out. And this band pass EQ mode node here, that's popping up the mid-range, so we get a nice bit of expression in the mid-range, which is very, very important to a sort of lead mid-bass sound. And similarly, we've got a little bit of high-end boosting happening as well. So every time this goes up, we get a bit of a boost in the mid-range, a bit of a boost in the high-end, and it brings the sub down a little bit. After this, we just distort the hell out of it with a bit of drive on the soft clipping. And if I go back to my favorite speed frequency here, then that's the patch basically done. And there's one little bonus tip for you. Because you've been so kind to watch so far, I'm going to give you one more bonus tip. And in the MIDI, you can see what I've done here is I've got these overlapping. So we glide from one down to the next. And just to make sure that that's happening, we have only one voice set here. So just one voice here. And the glide is turned up. The always glide and the legato is on. That means we can glide between notes without them overlapping, or creating, without them becoming a stupid chord or something. It's just always one note. Stupid chords. And then you can see what I've done with the velocities here. So with these first three notes, and the last one, I've turned up the velocity to full volume. And the only thing that's being affected by the velocity is our last little effect here, which is our reverb. And why I've done this is on the mix, velocity tracked here. So when it's played at full velocity, the mix goes up. You can see it goes up to halfway. So that means just on my final note here, I introduced like a lot of reverb. So it's not really present for the main loop, but then on the last hit, we get this reverb splash. And that means we can kind of have this almost cool effect where, you know, the bass is playing out and it's not clouding everything with a load of reverb, but on the last hit, we introduce a splash of reverb to like give the whole loop a nice tail and finish. So if we listen and pay attention to the last little hit. So thanks for watching, guys. That was my little tutorial on the Chub Wub bass. You can feel free to copy it. I will probably be uploading this to my Patreon today, and also on my Patreon, which is a exclusive group of 100 people, but there is a few slots left. We have a competition starting today where we will be doing a remix from my tune Shakuhachi, and the winner of the 1 minute remix will have the chance to collaborate with me online to release a new song together. So that'll be fun for you if you win. And also, yeah, second place will win one of these caps. And if you don't participate, you can also get a cap from my website in the link below. They are dope, and it helps support me and the channel. And I can maybe buy like some cooler stuff for the background so that you don't get bored of the same background in every video. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.